Friends, how are you doing out there? I really hope everyone's doing well. Had a great day. It is Tuesday. It is April 29th, and let's talk about what happened in the market today. So, obviously, the big thing, the market did pretty good today. I mean, the S&P 500 slowly went up again. I mean, we're back at 5,560 points here. We're doing pretty good, and we're looking for that 56, 57, but we'll see if we get there. So today, the big news, Sofi came out with earnings. They were great. They were great earnings. They were obviously, I think a lot of us were hoping that maybe they would hit $1 billion in revenue. They didn't. Obviously, that was a lot to ask for, but they did. They beat expectations. It was great. I honestly thought it was going to be more than this. I thought at least they would hit at least just minimum of at least 800 million. They did not, but still, all in all, this is good because at least they hit quarterlies. Once again, they're showing that they are growing at a very nice, I wouldn't say slow rate, but just a mid-range, pace right now. But it does leave the expectation that still this year we could maybe potentially see $1 billion quarterly from Sofi. So I think long-term investment, it's still a solid play. I think if you're day trading, I'll say more short trading it to where, holding it in a week's time and back and forth selling, taking profit, throwing it right back in there, whatever you need to do, it's still probably going to be a great play. Now today with Sofi, it did what it always does, and I talked about this last night with Sofi. So here's what may potentially happen with Sofi. The market could be going into just a really, really nice little run here, okay, if we don't see bad news in the market. We're about to have some big companies report earnings, Palantir being one of the ones that everyone wants to know what's about to happen with them. But what's happened, if Sofi is still going to act like a creature of habit, how it's done in the past with quarterlies, more than likely, here's probably what we're going to see. So Sofi, as of right now, they released quarterlies today. They were great quarterlies. And Sofi, when it releases quarterlies, it will always run up pre-quarterly, then it will sell off the day of quarterlies. I have seen this since Sofi has been $4, $8, $10, $12, and now $13. Even when the last quarterly, it was above this price. So with that, now, and it's funny because Sofi is cheaper now than it was on the last quarterly. That was a smaller quarterly, but obviously the market's destroyed it, with everything else, and things are still catching up here. But the situation that I do believe is that could Sofi run $15 to $17, $18? Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You're seeing a situation where big money is going to be more attracted to Sofi. I mean, as they're keeping up this great pace of just, just their earnings are just solid plays. They're not huge, but they are very healthy. Now, today when we saw the quarterlies come up with Sofi, their tech sales were down essentially with that part of it, but membership, everything else was pretty solid, and we're definitely see them continuing to grow just with people opening accounts, and two, Sofi has just found itself in this place of the last 4 or 5 months with these huge loan deals. So this is going to be stuff that's going to be compounding throughout the year 100%. So what I'm talking about too, stay on track here, Dillon, is that Sofi, talking about the creature of habit situation, what I've seen Sofi do a lot of the time is that after quarterlies, it will sell off for a moment, for a moment here, and then it will find a new high. So I do believe that there will be a new high found here in Sofi, and probably when we get there, people will probably sell off, and then we'll find the new low. Now, will the new low be anywhere from $12 to $14? Probably, more than likely. We could see Sofi, as long as the market holds support here, we could see Sofi just hold this $12 to $14 range. I think that's highly likely. I think that's highly possible, and it has a lot of proof in the pudding to support that theory right there. So, friends, more than likely, like I said, Sofi, if you're bag holding Sofi right now, like you bought today, like even pre-market, like at $14, high $13 range today, I went panic sell, and I went panic in general. There's still some good stuff that's coming here in the market to push the market. There's still very much great numbers that will be pushed here in SoFi 100%. So I like I said, I think SoFi, regardless, long term is going to be something that's highly going to pay off for you, 100%. If you make a very nice little hobbit home here, essentially with SoFi, it's going to pay off for you. So like I said, I wouldn't be shocked to see SoFi just kind of teeter-totter here for a moment with a huge sell-off in the day. There'll be a bad day here in the market. We can guarantee that. There's something's going to happen here dramatic. But then off of that, we will probably find ourselves in another run-up in the market. Listen, I truly believe, at least until we get to July right now, back to these tariff talks, the market in May here, the market is going to try its hardest to get back to where it was. The S&P 500 is going to try as hard as it can to get back in this 6,000 point range. Now, that's obviously a lot to do. That is a lot to do. Now, could it find 57, 58? Absolutely. We're really close at this point, and if we keep producing quarterlies and stuff, what we're doing right now, it will find its way there more than likely very soon. But it wants to get back to the 6,000 point range here, and it'll find it. It's just how fast will it find it? But with that, everything will do well in the market. Everything will run in the market. So that's why I'm saying there will be a new high found here in SoFi pretty soon. Pretty soon there will, could it be more than 17, 18? I don't see why not. I really don't see why not. There's good things to come here with SoFi, 100%. So congratulations to everybody that made good money on SoFi today, and that essentially future speaking, the futures of it, you'll make good money here with what's coming here. So May 1st, Thursday, Big Bear. Let's talk about that. Big Bear will be releasing their quarterlies on May 1st here. And now with these quarterlies, I am going to be 100% honest with you. I don't think these quarterlies are going to be like face melting quarterlies. Of course, I say that now and they're going to shock everyone. But I do suspect them to be good. I do suspect that. I'm hoping these quarterlies are at least touch 50 million in revenue. I hope at least that, because that will really tell us, this is Q1, so it's important. They need to hit this. But it will at least tell us that Big Bear is in the range to at least maybe hit this, I don't know, 170, 180 million revenue this year. Now, if they got 50 million, that would be very interesting, because maybe we could hit that 200 million mark that some analysts are predicting with Big Bear here, that they could make 200 million this year. Now, obviously, why could this happen? Why we're talking about this? How could that happen? Why are you saying that? I'm saying this because we've compounded these deals. So here's the situation. Back in November, a defense contract came out with Big Bear here, and it was almost $200 million spread out over 3.5 years. Okay, so from there, we've continued to get contracts. Now, that was the biggest one. The other ones have not been that big. The situation is with this is that we're seeing more partnerships, these deals, and we're really going to, I truly believe, obviously, because it's just basic math, we're going to see some compounding here on top of, past revenue to new revenue. So if this is the moment where we could see a nice quarterly come out with Big Bear here, this is probably going to be it 100%. It's really going to shape what's about to happen here with Big Bear. Big Bear obviously is dealing with this lawsuit news. It's just not stopping. It's going to keep going here into the summer. They're not going to stop. It is vultures at the taking here at the corpse. They are just trying to get everyone just to say, hey, I had problems with Big Bear. I'm going to go into this lawsuit too. And that's just, it's articles after article after article every day. I mean, they are paying so much money to have these articles put out every day. But I think to a lot of people that have been here with Big Bear, that know what's going on with Big Bear, they kind of see through the weeds, so to speak, with what's going on right here. So like I said, I have been the first to say this. Big Bear is a messy situation. It is very, very high stakes, very high risk. It is literally the blackjack table, where you are essentially dealing with this tech stock that really no one cared about until just a handful of months ago, when we started to see them get these defense contracts. Then on top of that, they got their new CEO, Kevin. Now, Kevin has been with the company, but Kevin, he has a military background. He has a background connected to Trump, the older Trump administration, now the new Trump administration. We're getting more deals, partnerships now. So something is happening in the background. They're pushing the company. With that too, is that, the thought process, the hype around Big Bear has completely changed. Big Bear undoubtedly, look at what Big Bear has been producing here in this chart right now. The past 5 days, Big Bear, on the 28th, yesterday, it touched around, 380 pretty much. And then today, it went back to almost 370. So it's definitely doing very well. It's doing well. It's doing well. If it can come out with a decent quarterly here, I would highly suspect that it will touch $4. Okay. Now listen, I am not one of these people that's saying that Big Bear is going back to $10, even $7. Okay. Big issues. They got debt they need to pay off. Second, they need to get this lawsuit deal wrapped up real fast. This thing has got to disappear. It's got to go. Third of all, they need to. It would be nice if they hit a quarterly. It would be real nice. It would be good press. It would be it would bring confidence to investors. Okay. Now, obviously, this is not huge money when we're talking about a tech stock, even a company, just a stock in general. $50 million is not that big, but it is big for Big Bear right now, and they need it. They need good press. They need to build trust with investors. This is one big thing, that they are moving in the right direction, that they are, making a name for themselves. And listen, when you're putting your hard-earned work money into a stock, especially if it's a long-term play, you're wanting to see some proof in the pudding. You're wanting to see some positive, press. You're wanting to see that the company you're investing in, is making some money. But that's the whole thing right there with Big Bear, is that it's very attractive because it keeps getting these defense contracts. We're all here just watching, but like I said, I'm not putting everything in Big Bear that they're going to come out with a crazy good quarterly here. I'm just not. I suspect that it will be better than what we saw last year. Don't get me wrong on that. It will be better for sure. But it will not be like, oh my God, this is amazing. That's what I'm suspecting at this point. When people are saying that Big Bear is going to, $7, $10, something dramatic has to happen. We're talking about like $300, $400, $500 million contract within a very short time frame needs to happen for them, for something insane like that to happen. Okay. We're talking crazy money. Friends, it's starting to be an exciting time again in the market. The S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq, everything's doing very well. We're seeing good support in these markets, in our market in general. And I think we might be on a little bit of just a little bit of a bus ride here until we break down again. And we're all just going through it like tourists, and we're like, So, I wish everyone the best of luck. Like I said, watch SoFi. Don't be shocked to see SoFi trail back down to $12 and then shoot back up into a nice, new range here. I fully suspect something like that to happen. Palantir undoubtedly will start to run here again, more than likely. It's got quarterlies coming out Monday, and they are probably going to be some banging quarterlies. Even today, Palantir ran up to like almost $17. I just said it last night. I just said, look, Palantir more than likely is going back to 120, 125, if not over 130. Well, it seems to be happening. Here we go. Friends, I wish everyone the best of luck, and I will talk to you very soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.